Welcome back everyone to another episode of Shade TV. My name is Marissa Hill and today we are going to be going over a collaboration done with Kith and Asics as well as X-Men on one of my favorite Asics silhouettes. These are the Gel-Lyte 3s and we will be covering today the Gambit colorway. Let's take a quick sneak peek.
Not completely.
I say we blow this liar right back where he come from.
Welcome back everyone to another unboxing and review. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome in. This is a really exciting unboxing for most of you who have followed this drop. As most of you may know, this was a blind box concept, so pretty much all of us who went after this sneaker, we had no clue what we would be unboxing, since from the outer appearance of this, you cannot tell. Even when you open the box, also the packaging, you can't tell what's inside. So I initially, for the first one I unboxed, I saw that I received the Gambit pair. So we'll be going through the overview of this colorway. We'll talk about other parts of this release and get into detail of that. Then we'll talk about the sizing on the Gel-Lyte 3. Then we'll jump into how I styled this Gambit colorway, and then we'll conclude with how this specific Gambit Gel-Lyte 3 is doing on the resale market. Let's jump right into it. So for those of you who are X-Men fans, you definitely probably wanted this so bad. I actually was at Comic-Con in San Diego this year, had no clue that these were going to be releasing early, specifically at that event. So I actually attended the preview night of the entire capsule that Ronnie had put together, as well as I was able to see every single pair of sneakers that was part of this collaboration. I was really excited to see all of the colorways in front of me, because I just sometimes, you know, when you see images online, they just don't resonate the same as when you have them in hand. But I initially really wanted to have the Storm variation. It was my favorite out of all of the ones that released. Gambit, though, was actually second on my list, so this was a win for me. The whole concept behind this really is inspired by Ronnie actually collecting cards back in 1992. And this is basically very nostalgic. It reminds me of when I collected cards in the 90s, but this blind box concept is really to inspire collecting and trading, and really taking us all back in time to, you know, some of our memories that we may have had when collecting these X-Men cards, because all of the graphics that you see are based off of the 1992 artwork. So one of the things with the packaging is this came in a sleeved box. So you see that we've got the Marvel and Kith logo on there. When you take the sleeve off, it actually reveals another box underneath, which this is actually based off of the actual package back in 1992. So really cool that it looks exactly like it. And then when you open the box, or I guess, let me see, you actually tear this away. You have to tear it open, so you really have no clue what's inside. You get this silver package, which is based off of what the cards would be inside of. So you would have no clue exactly as to what cards you would be receiving after you open it. So then you basically tear this away, just like you tear away a pack of cards, and inside reveals the secret that you have. Inside of each package as well, you do get a collecting trading card. So I did receive 2 Gambits. I got 3 sneakers in total. stay tuned to see what my third pair was. But one of the cool things, I'm so happy that I didn't get the same Gambit card, but it also tells you on the back of the card what number it is out of how many. So this is 1 out of 749, and then this card is 1 out of 1,299. But again, really cool concept, really bringing me back to collecting cards. So I love that, you know, it really has this nostalgic feel to it. All right, so as part of the release, there were 7 pairs in total. All of those pairs were based off of different X-Men characters from 1992. Gambit was one of them. Wolverine got 2 different colorway options. Then we have Beast, Cyclops, Storm, and Rogue. All different color variations, which is really cool. I personally liked Storm the best, and then Gambit was second. But again, just really cool different colorway options, and the fact that we have no clue after we unboxed it what we were gonna get just gave that nice element of surprise. All right, so now let's talk about how many of these pairs were released. So 6 of these pairs, one of those including the Wolverine pair, there were 2,500 units available. The rarest of the sneakers that were released, hands down, goes to the 1975 Wolverine colorway. That released in only 416 units. So congrats to anyone who was able to snag a pair of those. So let's go through and talk about the materials and what was inspired with this color scheme. The entire upper is nubuck material, and the trench coat that Gambit actually wore in X-Men is what this color scheme was based off of. So it is this kind of nice khaki neutral tone. And then on the front, we've got kind of like this rosy pink color scheme, and then some red accents. So those accents are also inspired by his actions and skills that he has as a character. And one of those things is kinetic energy. Gambit is known for using cards as part of his techniques. He's honestly one of my favorite X-Men characters, but I love that they kind of drew from his character, and that's what inspired the color scheme of this. Also, his hair has like a reddish brown hue to it. That also has to do with some of the color scheme going on here. But the high risk red, which is primarily used throughout this, that is more based off of that kinetic energy that he uses when he throws the cards. As far as the interior here, we've got this kind of nice metallic coppery color scheme, and then X-Men is very subtle, but it's embroidered on the inside of the laces here. And then on the other side of the right sneaker, instead of X-Men, you've got Fieg, and that's nicely embroidered again in that copper tone. I have two-tone laces, which are red and that same kind of light khaki tone. And then we've got some matte black eyelets on the side with some more camel nubuck around that. You also get 2 other lace options. So you get just a very simplistic white lace or this other kind of camel tan lace. All right, so let's take a look at those details, then move along to the side paneling. The tiger stripes are in this nice pop of tumbled red leather, underlays of the nubuck underneath, and then as we work our way to the back, we're getting more hits of that rosy hue, and then a nice caging unit, which is in red, and then we've got Asics nicely embroidered there in that muted tone. Then as we work our way to the lateral side of the sneaker, this is where we've got the Gel-Lyte 3 branding, but we still have that same color blocking color scheme as we do on the medial side of the sneaker. On the interior, we have Gambit on a nice patch, as well as Asics and Kith on the other insole on the right side of the sneaker itself. As we work our way to the bottom portion of the sneaker, we've got this nice kind of light brown tone, and then this off-white sail tone intermixed with white, and then the outsole is completed in this black colorway. Overall, I think that this whole collaboration was very well done, especially for somebody who grew up with X-Men. I was so excited to hear that these were initially going to be releasing early at Comic-Con. So that is actually how I got my specific pair. One of the things that they had at the whole pop-up was a QR code that you actually had to scan. So once you scanned that QR code, you were able to actually purchase these, which you definitely had to be in that premise in order to do that. I also was able to get this Kith Storm t-shirt. This was me putting it out there to the universe that I would hopefully get a Storm pair. Unfortunately, I did not. But still something I feel like coordinates with this. So I'm obsessed with it. I'm definitely gonna be wearing this t-shirt as much as I can. The t-shirt also came with this really cool comic book. Again, it's got Kith as well on there. So just another collector's piece. But altogether, the whole collaboration was a full entire line that matched every single sneaker that released. And I was just happy that I was able to snag a couple pairs while I was there in San Diego. All right, so let's take a look at all of those details. As far as the trading card goes, they had 8 different color variants per character, which is pretty insane. So I'm happy I at least got 2 different color variants here. As far as the rarest color variants, those actually have PSA graded on them. And unfortunately, neither of these have that. So hopefully maybe on the 3rd one, we'll see if I get that. As far as size and fit goes, I would say definitely stick true to size. In this one, I do have higher to narrow feet. If you do have flatter, wider feet, that could differentiate from my own since we differ in types of feet. All right, so now let's jump into how I style this colorway. Again, I think this was definitely one of my favorite colorway options, just because this is one of the easiest colors to style in my opinion. So for the first look, I kept it pretty simple with a white button-down sleeveless top with some khaki pants for a nice minimalistic look. Look, kept it a little bit more on the dressier side, decided to wear a white sundress. Last and final look, I went all denim with a lighter denim shade for the top, which was a button-down collared shirt, and then for the bottoms I wore a darker denim pair of jeans.
suckers. Yeah. And go rejoice with all the suckers. Yeah. Yeah. When I turn on the TV, all I see is smoking mirrors. Yeah, they're selling me for cheap. Every billboard is a dealer. Oh.
All right, so now let's talk about how much these are going for on the resale market. So these retailed at $195. This pair specifically is going between $230 to $300. Overall, such a really fun collaboration just with the whole unboxing experience of not knowing what you are going to get when you unbox them, but also an amazing way to celebrate X-Men's 60th anniversary. All right, everyone, that is it for this unboxing and review. If you joined us for the first time, thank you so much. My name is Marissa Hill. This is Shay TV. We'll catch you all next episode.
Every